Hi everybody. In today's class we are going to discuss about soil. We are dealing with introductory part. So we will be continuing that. So we know that soil is of three types. Soil is of three types. Okay. Soil is of three types. First is sandy soil. First is sandy soil, and the next one is loamy soil. And the third one is clay soil. Okay, clay soil. How this segregation of soil is done into three separate groups or separate category. For example, sandy, loamy and clay is based on the proportion of particles. For example, here more amount of large particles. In sand we find more amount of large particles. More amount of large soil particles. We find in sandy soil. And in loamy soil, less amount of large particles. In loamy soil compared to sandy soil, here less amount. And we find in loamy soil some sands. Some sands. So equal amount of sand and clay will form what? Loamy soil. Equal amount of sand plus clay forms the loamy soil. And even we find what? Silt. Silt soil. So silt we normally find them in the river beds. The fine soil particle that is carried by the water current in river, and they will deposit in some place. So that soil is very fine. So in loamy soil we find what? Some amount of sand, some amount of clay, and even silt. So this is going to give rise loamy soil. And the last one is clay soil. Here we will find fine particles of soil. So these are the segregation of soil into three types. Based on the proportion of soil particles or the size of the particles. These are the three different soils that we find. Now by the three soil we will try to make what? Toys. So let me keep the heading as working with soil. So we have seen three different types of soil. First one is sandy soil. Second is loamy soil. And the third one is clay soil. Clay soil. If we take these soils, for example, first is sandy soil, and for how much water we need, until that soil will become what? A bowl-like structure. We can make that soil as bowl-like structure. That much amount of water is required. First we will take the soil. Next, what we need to do? We need to mix it. That process is known as what? Kneading. Kneading means what? Mixing the soil along with water. Just like the flour of the chapati, we mix the flour along with water, right? So that process is known as what? Kneading. So we have to mix the soil along with water and try to make bowl, or even a cylinder structure or even a ring structure. So first shape is what? Bowl. Next is cylinder, cylindrical structure, cylinder structure. And the third one, okay, ring structure. If we try to make ball, cylinder or ring by taking the sandy soil, we cannot make, because these soils, they are having large particles, and when we try to make them, they will, if we are making ball, they will crack. If we are making cylinder, they will crack. When we are trying to bend it and make ring structure, okay, then also it will break it, because sandy soil will not give a structure like this because of its nature. Okay, and next one is loamy soil. Loamy soil, we have seen that in loamy soil we find some amount of clay, some amount of sand, and some amount of silt. Okay, so this loamy soil is also not going to give us like this structure. Okay, it will break because of its nature. Next one is clay soil. If we try to make ball, cylinder or ring with the clay soil, then we are going to get this type of shape by using this clay soil, because clay soil has the ability to make ball, cylinder and ring. Okay, so because of its nature, we can get the structure like ball, cylinder and ring. Okay, so most probably when they are making toys or statue, they use what? Clay soil. Even the clay pots are made up of clay soil and not with sandy soil and loamy soil. So it is clay soil that is going to give a proper shape like ball, cylinder and ring. Clay soil is not going to break. Okay, so this is the characteristic of clay soil. And we did what? Working with soil. When we take these three different types of soil, these two soils, they will not give this structure, only the clay soil is going to give the structure. Okay, going to give the structure. Okay, now we will discuss about properties of these three type of soil. Okay, properties of soil. Okay, so we know that soil should have water holding capacity or absorption capacity, water absorbing capacity, and it should also have what? Percolation capacity. Percolation capacity. So first one is, okay, let me write as percolation. Soil should have enough porous in nature so that water will be seeping with along with the soil. So that is percolation. And the next one is water absorbing capacity. Okay, absorption. Absorption of water, percolation of water. Okay, these are the two important properties we need to discuss under soil. So percolation means what? In simple word, if we discuss, percolation is the seepage of liquid substance through the porous substances. Okay, seepage of liquid through the porous substances. Okay, here porous substances is what? Soil. So seepage of water through the soil can be termed as percolation of water. Okay, so for example, okay, how much water is taken or how much water is going in the three different soils. Okay, in the three different soils, okay, we need to understand by formula. For example, Okay, we will call it as what? Percolation rate. Percolation rate. We call them as percolation rate. Percolation rate is what? Percolation rate is amount of water per ml. Okay, amount of water in ml upon, okay, time taken to percolate. Okay, that time is what? Minute. That time is minute. So this is the formula. We will be solving some problems here. Okay, we will be solving some problems here. So what is percolation rate? The formula to calculate it. Okay, percolation rate is ml per minute, right? ml per minute. So percolation rate equals to amount of water in ml by percolation time. Okay, in minute. Percolation time in minute. So this is the formula. Percolation rate equals to amount of water upon percolation time. So this is the formula. We need to take 3 different soils, right? Okay, first one is sandy soil. You need to visit wherever there is sandy soil. Next one, loamy soil, and the third one is clay soil. So first you need to put a cylinder. Okay, you need to put a cylinder or pipe. Okay, both the sides it is opened. Now you need to measure some amount of water in measuring jar. Okay, some amount of water, and your cylinder or the pipe that you have taken, it should be having 20 centimeter. Okay, and it depends on where you are putting this pipe, whether it is in sandy soil, clay soil or loamy soil. So your pipe should be 20 centimeter, and in measuring jar you have some amount of water. Okay, then what you need to do, when you are visiting in sandy soil, you need to pour the water into this pipe like structure, and as soon as you are pouring, you need to note it down the time. Okay, that time is known as what? That time is known as initial time. Okay, and finally when it absorbs, that will be the final time. Okay, so for example, here 200 ml water you are pouring, and the 200 ml water takes the time of 20 minutes. Okay, 20 minutes. So our formula is what? Okay, amount of water. How much amount of water? 20 ml. How much time it is? 200 ml water, and time is 20 minutes. So what will be the answer here? Okay, 2 zeros cancel, and 2 10s are 20. So 10 ml per minute is the answer. 10 ml per minute. In each minute, 10 ml water is drained in the sandy soil. Okay, and next we will deal with clay soil. Next, okay, loamy soil. So this is the formula. How much water it is taking and how much time it is taking to complete the water. So 200 ml we took, and it took 20 minutes to complete all the water. So this is the formula. Okay, to calculate what? Percolation rate. Okay, next is Next property that we are going to deal is moisture. Moisture in soil. Moisture in soil. So we know that soil, they contain what? Some amount of moisture. Some amount of moisture. Okay. To know this, whether the soil is having moisture or not, we need what? A boiling tube. A boiling tube. Boiling tube. And in that boiling tube, we need to put some amount of soil. Some amount of soil. That should be what? In powdery form. Okay, powdery form. Now, okay, this boiling tube is connected with what? Stand. Connected with stand. It should be having connection with stand, and this stand should hold the boiling tube. So this is what? Boiling tube. Boiling tube having what? It is having soil. Boiling tube with soil. Okay. Remember that we haven't added any water. We should not add any water. Only soil. Because we are demonstrating whether the soil contains moisture or not. Okay. Now, by the help of burner, Bunsen burner, we are going to light. We will be lighting the Bunsen burner, and finally this boiling tube is going to heat. Okay. When it is giving heat energy, that soils, they are going to get heat, and finally from the soil, vapors, they start evaporating. Vapors, they start evaporating. And we know that in as usual, when there is evaporation of water, okay, finally they go to the cloud and condense, right? Here also same thing happens. Okay, so inner walls of this boiling tube, okay, inner walls of the boiling tube, okay, they will have what? These droplets. They will have droplets. Okay, droplets accumulated at the tip of this test tube. Okay, droplets. Why? Because of the condensation. Because of the condensation, we find droplets at the inner cooler side of the wall of test boiling tube. Okay. So, okay, this is how the soil that was having moisture is going to give the moisture out, and it becomes dry. And when we take this soil out of this boiling tube and compare with the normal soil that we have not put into this boiling tube, we can find the difference. We can find the difference. Okay, so soils, they contain what? Moisture. Soils, they contain moisture, and you can see here the moisture, they are getting evaporated by the heat applied. So this is how the soil, they will have moisture. So in summer seasons, what happens? Okay, farmland, they are going to appear what? Shimmering. They are going to appear shimmering. Okay, shimmering. Farmlands, they will shimmer. Why? Because during summer, the sunlight which is falling on the land, okay, due to the light, okay, the moisture from the soil, they are going to evaporate, and this evaporation of the moisture, okay, is going to reflect by the light, and the farmland is going to show what? Shimmering. Is going to show shimmering. So this is what happens during summer. The farmland, they are going to show the shimmering. Going to show the shimmering. Okay. So shimmering means what? Okay. When we look to the farmland, we will find some blur image. Okay. Why? Because of the evaporation of water and the reflection of the light in the air. Okay. That is going to give us the vision. That is going to give us shimmering type of. Okay. Shimmering. Next, here you can see the soil. From the soil, okay, the moisture is getting evaporated. Here also same thing happens. Okay, compare and see. You will also find that the water is getting evaporated from the soil, and from the farmland also the soil that is going to release the moisture in the surrounding due to heat. So this is what happens in the summer. Okay, so we have discussed property 2 here, two properties, moisture in soil and the water holding capacity. In next class we are going to see about another property.